I want to talk about something. Something that, for as long as I've been conscious, I guess the proper terminology wouldn't be conscious, but rather aware. Someone's been bothering me since then, effectively. It's the idea that someone, anyone in general, could be a failure, could be a loser. I mean, like, everyone's been called a loser at some point, and I don't. I'm not trying to argue against the idea of someone being a social outcast. That obviously happens. But then what I'm trying to talk about is something a bit more nuanced. It's the idea of failure to comply, in effect. It's a fear everyone basically has, and I wouldn't be surprised if every person watching this has experienced what I'm about to talk about firsthand. It's basically the idea that you can fail at life. It's flawed, it's wrong. Life isn't a game, like, at all. It's not a task, it's not a set path. You can't deviate off it and end up in the wrong way. A life can't be a failure, in my eyes. Or rather, let's rephrase that. A life which neither harms oneself nor the other can be considered a failure, no matter what circumstance it is under. And I feel like the idea that you can be a failure, you can lose at life for just doing things that don't compare with the status quo, but don't actually actively harm other people, or that you can be a loser for not working hard enough, for not owning enough capital, for not having enough friends, for not having a high enough body count, or not having a body count at all, for not spending enough time grinding, for not spending enough time partying, for not spending enough time being serious or not being serious, for not owning the latest greatest thing, for not owning the iPhone 12 Pro Max Ultra Pro Deluxe Edition, for not owning the latest Lamborghini Ferrari. What? God, I'm stupid. Lamborghini Huracan, for example. It's an idea that plays right in the machinations of capital and of greedy society on ground. It's an idea that counteracts human nature, because life is a path. We all end up in the same destination, at least for now. We all die. Most before they're 80. Some can get a bit over 100, but most of us are bound to die around the same time. Someone else dies. And that may change in the future. I can't really predict the future and what kind of technologies will appear, but we're all destined to die. Some predict it as nihilism, I just think that's realism, and that's why there can't really be any wrong ways to live life. Sure, some people may be more ambitious than others. Some people may try hard enough to succeed. Some people may take value in having a high social standing and being wealthy and being well respected and having lots of friends and being popular. Those are all valid things to enjoy, but not everyone on this spinning rock has those same ideas. Not everyone enjoys the same things. Some people aren't ambitious, and it isn't a moral flaw. That's just who they are. That's just what their own goals in life are. And there's a think piece. This isn't some study. This isn't some paper with sources, because this is just my view of the world. You can't fail at something that isn't a task. There are only so many different things you can do to succeed or fail in life. And as I've already said, as long as the way you live your life is satisfying to you, as long as you're happy with it, as long as it doesn't actively harm others or yourself, it's a good life. And by that metric, I consider a lot of successful people, universally regarded as successful people, to have a far less successful life than the average person. Of course, self-destruction isn't the best. You shouldn't end up as some homeless alcoholic, drug addict, prisoner, have a repressed class. You shouldn't harm yourself unless you like that. don't judge, but that's up to the individual to decide. And if they don't consider literal self-harm self-harm, more power to them. They don't have to conform to the ways we're expected to act. The main takeaway from this, actually very, very basic idea, is life isn't a game. You don't have to succeed at it to be valid, and you can very, very, very easily fall into a massive pit of self-doubt, self-hatred, just because we don't feel adequate enough. We feel inadequate. We see people around us succeed, be better than us, get better grades, be more socially regarded, but the people you consider better than you aren't truly better than you. They may be better at you at one, two, half dozen different fields. They may be better at you in certain ways. But everyone who seems to have their life together mainly just has the act of, well, acting together. And everyone who seems like they're objectively superior to you isn't. There's always something you could be better at. There's always something that other person can't do, that you can do. You don't have to be better than it. You don't have to be competitive. You don't have to strive for first place to be valid. You don't have to commercialize every interest and talent you have. You can love painting, you can love photography, you can love anything. Once again, that's not to harm others. And just do it for the love of it instead of having to turn it into some side hustle. I hate the gig economy, but that's a complete different topic. Not everything has to be commercialized, everything has to be turned into a commodity that one can buy, sell, and trade. But I'm getting off topic. This video is already getting long enough. My view is, you can't fail at life. If you're happy with what you're doing, you're succeeding. Just try not to pave over others in a way. Try and be above the people who pretend to be above you. And have a good night.